bring you a new video here on an LMG build I've slapped together. I've been working on it for a little bit. It's pretty similar to a lot of the other DPS and crit builds in the game currently, but a little bit different in the setup that we're actually using in LMG. I wanted to make an LMG build video because really there's none out there. LMGs definitely aren't meta by any means, but they can really do some good work in PvP, whether it's Dark Zone or Conflict. Can hit really, really hard with the right setup. So just wanted to bring you a quick build video on that, show you guys kind of what I did. As you'll see, I kind of have the build up. I hate when I pop up videos and it's a ton of gameplay, a ton of talking, and they don't even have the build up and shown from the beginning. So the build's right there for you guys to see. It's to Walker Harris. Obviously, we have the contractors and the Fox's prayers. As you know, the two multiplicative stat monsters for any PvP damage build are a must. One piece Grupo, one piece Seska for crit chance, crit damage. And then the two-piece Walker is a little bit different from a lot of the builds, and that's where this kind of differs from some of the other builds. A lot of people run Coyotes for the crit chance, crit damage, which of course if you're using stuff like ARs, especially shotguns, especially SMGs, the fish mask is just kind of hard to beat. I call Coyotes the fish mask. It's just kind of hard to beat because of that built-in pack instincts talent. But when you're using something like an LMG where you're a little bit more at distance or trying to at least stay at distance, the build looks a little bit different, and especially the fact that you can't run a shield, which is definitely meta, as everybody knows. Everybody's running around with shield in DZ, conflict, shield, 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 no matter what. Shield shotty, shield SMG, shield AR, shield, shield, shield. So staying away from shield based stuff, obviously, because it's the LMG. And I just kind of wanted to go over it because the build really does hit hard. I don't have any gameplay in the video. I saved all that stuff. You guys can test it out. You guys can check it out once you slap it together. You don't need to see me play to see how the build works or to get an idea of the build. But again, I have mine set up with 1.5 million armor, 1.5. I like running 4 blues for survivability because I do play a lot of DZ. But this build's interchangeable. You can run 3 reds or 3 blues. Or 4 blues and 2 reds, either way. If you want to hit a little harder, 3 reds will definitely do that. But of course, you lose a little survivability. So I like running 4 blues and getting 1.5 million just for survivability. As you'll see, chest talent, Unbreakable, is the meta talent. You can, of course, run some different talents. But I find it's best with this because you're not going to be getting up close to enemies like you would to proc Intimidate or some of those other really good chest talents that give you all the extra damage bonuses. You're going to be fighting more at range with LMGs, or trying to, in that medium to longer range space to support your team. So Unbreakable is the go-to chest talent. Companion on the backpack. Companion is a really, really underrated talent. 15% weapon damage within 5 meters of an ally or skill. So if you're playing in group play, conflict or DZ, usually unless you're a solo player, you're around your teammates. This is always going to be procced. And even more so because we're not running a shield, because it's an LMG, you're running drone. You can run defender drone, you can run assault drone. I suggest running defender because assault drone obviously leaves, wanders off away from you to go attack its targets. So I would run defender drone to give you a little bit more survivability, kind of replace the shield, and it's always going to be literally right next to you, which is cool, which keeps companion procs, which gives you an extra 15% weapon damage. So of course, the contractors, the nice thing about running an LMG is you actually get to take advantage of something besides the damage to armor on contractors. We know contractors are a must run for every damage build in the game because damage to armor, the multiplicative stat. The only multiplicative stats, damage to armor, damage to targets out of cover. I've heard mixed things on critical hit damage being multiplicative or not, so I'm not really sure, but I still think CHD is also just an additive stat multiplier. Could be wrong there, but I know for sure damage to armor and damage out of cover are the multiplicative stats. So that's why we're going to always have contractors and Fox's prayers, as you guys know, because they give you 8% damage target out of cover, 8% damage to armor. Really can't be beat. But the nice thing is, unlike with running an assault rifle, an SMG, a shotgun build, you're not getting nothing out of the brand set bonus with the contractors for a change. You're actually getting the LMG damage native that you need for your LMG build. So that's what's kind of cool, and what allows us to run something like a 2-piece Walker because we don't have to worry about one of our other pieces being a Fenris or a Sokolov or a Badger Tough to give you shotgun or whatever your primary weapon is. Your primary weapon is the LMG, so it's satisfied right with the contractors, which is really nice. As you see on my contractors, I have crit damage. Also on the Fox Prayers, I have crit damage. Backpack, of course, all reds. It's not fully optimized. It'll be 15% weapon damage soon, but crit damage, crit chance, crit damage on the mod. Of course, I got to optimize this backpack. You see it's kind of low, but I just kind of got the rolls I wanted. Beggars can't be choosers. With the mask, same thing. Reds across the board, except for my core attribute being a blue because I'm running 4 blue stats instead of just 3 and 3. I like to have a little more survivability. Same thing with the chest piece. Once again, unbreakable. Best talent for PvP for survivability. All reds across the board. And then the holster, the same thing. Crit hit damage, crit hit chance. So as you see, pretty much all reds, this build is spec'd out to be a damage build, but have survivability as well. And a lot of the damage is coming from, obviously, you can see critical hit chance and critical hit damage. Because I'm only running 4 blues, so how do I get any damage? Well, you get it from the multiplicative stats, the damage to armor, the damage to target out of cover, and all the critical hit chance and critical hit damage you'll see I have on this build. So even though it's an LMG, I'm at 50% critical hit chance, almost 51. And as you see, I have 3% on my backpack that I'm not even taking advantage of because it's not maxed. So I'm going to get another 2.6 out of this backpack once it's maxed. I can get another 0.5% out of the mask once it's maxed. Excuse me. So that's another 3% crit hit chance if this build was fully optimized. So you could say I'd be at right around 54% critical hit damage on this fully optimized with 150, 6% critical hit damage. That's pretty insane for not running the fish mask, for not having any coyotes mask, and for running an LMG that has no native crit built into it. It's outstanding. I'm going to be at almost 55% crit chance. I'm going to be getting constant crits with high critical hit damage. And you'll see it says 19% armor damage right there, which is huge. So the way you're getting that is LMGs have some really awesome attributes and core attributes. You'll see this LMG. I'm working on getting the damage to target out of cover. You can actually get that 8% there to 12%. Okay, but even just with having it at 8%, I've got 8% damage to target out of cover, native in the LMG, to go with the damage to target out of cover on my pads. That's 16%. When I get that damage to target out of cover maxed on my LMG, that'll be 20% damage to targets out of cover, which is multiplicative. That's insane. Then another 6% damage to armor built in on the LMG for its secondary attribute with the damage to armor on contractors. That alone right there is 14% damage to armor. And then we're not even talking about the 2-piece bonus that you get from Walker and Harris, which is one of the main reasons to run Walker. The 2-piece gives you another 5% damage to armor. So I'm literally looking at, because of 2-piece Walker, because of the attributes on the LMG, and because of contractors, I'm looking at 20% damage to armor and 20% damage to targets out of cover. Well, 19% damage to armor, excuse me, and 20% damage to cover. So I have almost 40% multiplicative damage multipliers just from a couple pieces and from the gun. That's insane. 40% multiplicative damage. It's nuts. And that's what helps the LMG really keep up with a lot of the other metas in the game, is all the multiplicative damage on this thing. It's absolutely insane. So it's not max, but it'll be 12. The 12 plus the 8 from the Foxes, 20. The 6 from this. The 5% from 2-piece Walker. And then the 8% from the contractors gives me another 19. It's 39% multiplicative damage, which is absolutely insane. So that's where you get a lot of your damage from, is having 40% multiplicative damage from your stats, and then also having 150% critical hit damage. But really, you're going to have pretty much 200% critical hit damage with a build that's going to have, if maximized, 54 to 55% critical hit chance because of the talent we're running, Strained. Strained is one of the best talents on an LMG in the game, especially when we're running the gunner spec. You'll notice I'm running gunner spec. The main reason is to get that 50-round mag. So it gives me a 100-round mag. I would say infantry MVG5 definitely the way to go for PvP. Rate of fire over anything, pretty much to shred quicker in PvP engagements. But strained is going to literally give you 50% extra crit damage within 2.5 seconds. So if you have a 100-round mag, before you even hit 90 rounds left in your mag, you're going to have 50% bonus crit damage. And that's what's going to get you to over 200% critical hit damage with, again, close to 54, 55% crit chance on a maximum optimized build similar to this, which is insane. You're going to be constantly getting crits that are 200% critical hit damage with the 39% multiplicative stat damage multipliers and 19% damage to armor and 20% damage to target out of cover. And that's another reason to run Walker, not just to get the damage to armor, but you get the 5% weapon damage, which alone isn't anything spectacular. But if you're going to run 4 blues for added survivability and lose 1 red instead of running 3 reds, what that means is you could still run 4 blues, and it's only like you're losing 10% from not having that extra red. Instead of get, the 15% weapon damage, okay, you run another blue, you miss out on 15% weapon damage. But with Walker, it's like you only miss out on 10. So you're really getting not a lot less damage to run 4 blues and have that much extra survivability because of Walker giving you the weapon damage, and then the damage to armor obviously is way better than, the 10% damage you're missing out, just flat weapon damage from running another red stat as a core attribute. So it's another reason why the synergy of the Walker Harris is so good, because you can run 4 blues and 1.5 million armor and still get an extra 5% weapon damage, and then the damage to armor. So the skills, again, Defender Drone, it's a little cheesy, but it has been nerfed so much in PvP. It's not something that's going to completely save your ass anymore, or something that, is newbie to run. I don't feel like anymore because it's not OP. But again, this is what's going to keep Companion procced all the time. And then because you have no Hasbro on the build, I like running the Booster Hive just because of the Hasbro that it gives you now. A lot of people don't even realize that, but you get 20% Hasbro, I believe, even at, skill tier 0, excuse me. You're still going to get some nice Hasbro out of it. And the weapon handling is not really a big deal because you have a 100-round mag. You're not going to be really reloading much. You're going to cook guys. You're going to be cooking guys with 15% extra weapon damage from Companion, 40% multiplicative damage, 200% critical hit damage with 55% critical hit chance. You're going to be cooking people with this build through their shields, through whatever. So you're not even going to really need to be reloading much when you have a 100-round mag. But just for the Hasbro, I really like it. But you can really run whatever skill here you want. Secondarily, any tips, anything like that, feel free to add in the comments and stuff, guys. But the build is just really good. Gunner's the spec again, just for that 50-round mag. And the armor kit's not bad either. So it's still a good armor kit, no matter what. It's not as good as the Firewall, but it's still a good one. So this allows you to run 4 blues, have tons of survivability, but still hit really hard because, again, 40% multiplicative damage, that 19% damage to armor, 20% damage to targets out of cover, and over 200% critical hit damage with 55% critical hit chance, and a 15% weapon damage bonus from Companion. It absolutely slaps. Give it a try, guys. Let me know if you have any questions, feedback. It's my first video, so sorry if I talk a little too fast. If you have any questions, comments, leave beneath. I can definitely respond. And you guys can reach out. But good luck gaming, guys, and enjoy it. It's still a great game no matter what, with the little flaws and stuff that it may be. We probably won't get any updates soon, but it's still my favorite game. I still love it, and hopefully you guys love it too. Thanks. Take care.